Welcome to Audio Carnage Podcast. We are here with Mouth of Cronus, also with AJ. So,
God bless.
So first of all, thank y'all for coming through and doing the session. I really appreciate it. I've been having a lot of fun, and y'all, I believe, are going to be the bonus episode for season 1. Yep. So first of all, let's go ahead and give a introduction for each of y'all, so that way y'all can say what do y'all do in the band, and then also give us your name. Go ahead.
I'm Grant. I hit circles with wood.
I'm Colton, and I play guitar and do backup vocals.
I'm Clay, and I play guitar also, and I do lead vocals.
And I'm Joe, and I play bass. Sort of.
And I'm AJ, and I just know all these dudes.
And I'm Jared, and y'all know me. So, let's jump in, and the first couple questions to go off. So, when did Mouth of Cronus originally form? Like, the original iteration of it?
Go for it, pal.
Grant, you've got a better memory than I do, because I'm old.
Hold the microphone up to your mouth.
Sorry. I guess it's been a year and some, right?
Yeah.
I put an ad on
Feels way longer than that.
Denton Metal Scene Facebook page or something.
No, it was Craigslist.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
You know, it was Craigslist because he and I were sitting in their old apartment, like back in 2017, late 2017, and we were just looking at bands and just browsing through, and we came across a Mouth of Cronus. You were on there, and you were talking about looking for a bass player and a drummer, or I don't know if it's a bass player. I think it was just another guitar and a drummer. 'Cause I don't know if he had
drummer.
you or drummer or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we considered that, but that was like back in 2017, and we had forgotten about it until I guess you had hit him up.
So, is that this iteration of Mouth
Yeah.
of Cronus? Or how
There's only
long-
one.
Well, when did the first iteration of Mouth of Cronus? I'm assuming since you are the lead vocalist, you were the first one to create this kind of iteration.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah.
He writes all
and
the songs.
Well, like, around when did you create your first band with this, this goal in mind for this these songs?
This incarnation right here.
Okay.
I mean, we hooked up with Grant, and then we're kind of a three-piece.
For about
So-
5-6 months until
Colton, Grant, and...
No, it
And-
was Joey,
Okay,
Clay,
Joey.
and Grant.
Okay. Well, when did you...
I joined on in July of last year, so this would be a year. Like the beginning of July of last
Has
year.
it really been a year?
It's been a year.
Holy
It's been a
moly,
year.
time
It's been a
Bear
year.
in mind that, like,
Yeah.
95% of the past year has been inside.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
True that.
we were supposed
Like,
to have
this is
2
the
gigs.
most performance
since this
thing that
time.
we've had done in a while. I'm trying to get my band to come on before I have to move, but they're like, we're trying to finish the album, and I'm like, guys, I'm about to move.
Yeah.
Also, when's the next show we're gonna play? What are some of y'all's personal influences?
Go counterclock or go clockwise.
No, I want to go that way.
All right.
Ladies
All right,
first.
how about this? Everybody shout out with their main influence, and then whoever wants to come in with their, because I want everybody to give 3.
By genre or specific
No.
musician?
3.
The influence for this band, let's say.
Yeah. That good.
Let's say that would be better.
Anybody got a what
So-
would y'all say the main influence for the band is?
Go first, Clay.
Well, Colton has an answer.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say my personal influence, because I'm originally a bass player. That's my main thing, but I'm playing guitar in this band, and so for me, I guess the biggest influence that I've been trying to hook up from would be Mastodon. Getting their relationship between their guitars is very, very good. And I've been trying to develop that with him, because to the point that we have our very own unique
cohesion.
voice. Yeah, a good cohesion, but we have our own unique voices into
What
it.
about you, Clay?
I mean, I can't get away from all the 90s shit that I really liked, like the Melvins and Soundgarden.
Yes.
And so I just love all that sludgy shit, but also the more metal end of it. And I like what AJ said the other day. He said Melvins and Mastodon, which I'm pretty cool with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was watching them jam the other night, and I said not only do they sound like I could hear Melvins and Mastodon and their influences, but they could be one of those bands like, I don't know, 20 years ago playing shows with them, because they kind of got that sound.
Well, considering this is my introduction to y'all is this exact situation, and so that I definitely hear the Mastodon style, and I definitely hear that like old school '90s like sound too. So that makes perfect sense. Like I wish I could have caught y'all at some of the shows that y'all played. Yeah, now granted, we should have had y'all on. What was it? Cannibal Convention. That should happen.
Was that back in May?
May 23rd, but COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of them. And then we had another one in
15
April.
bands. Fucking 3 stages. I could not fucking wait for that one. But, so, this was my first actual introduction to y'all's music. But, I definitely see the Mastodon influences as a relevant one. What would you say yours is, Joey?
Oh, mine would be, kind of the big 3 pieces, typically, like High on Fire. I don't know. I mean, and other bands too. Like I love Gojira and.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
yes.
big influence on me too, guitar wise.
I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I listen to mostly. I listen to a lot of jazz. So.
Well, all right. So everybody think about this. This is not a of all time. If you're going to get in the car and you're going to put on music while you're driving away from here, what is one of the 5 bands that you would possibly put on while impulsively driving away? What, just one of the, like 1 or 2, like you can list in, not of all time, just what's the one that you would like, what are you grooving to currently?
King Crimson. For me.
Okay.
Rush.
Rush and King's X and Jeff Beck.
Okay.
I'd probably be putting on some kind of reggae.
What kind of reggae? No, that's the point of the question. Is
No,
it doesn't
yeah.
have to be in the metal genre. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's what's currently going on. What kind of reggae?
I like Steel Pulse and fucking Toots and the Maytals and
Don't forget Black Uhuru.
yeah, them too. Then maybe some dub stuff.
Okay.
So I mean, when you're writing metal tunes and you're practicing and playing them, you kind of don't want to always listen to that.
Definitely.
Oh no, because you want the anger and the aggression that you have to make metal. You have to be able to like live the other feelings, because otherwise it's like
Right.
you can't be angry all the time. Like you can't. It's not healthy.
I don't think I've listened to like straightforward metal in almost a year.
Yeah.
You know what it feels like. I mean, bits and pieces here and there. Like I've been listening to Crowbar a lot lately, but aside from that,
I'm happy to say over the past like 2 years I've been listening to local metal, but that's just because I haven't had time between all the shit that I've been trying to keep myself involved with to be able to like actually do a deep dive on bands that like I like and like, oh, this band dropped this album or whatever, and that's on my own personal like problem of time. But like one thing I love is the fact that over the past 2 years I've gotten a chance to get to know some crazy good local acts, which we are surrounded by some phenomenal.
Who do you really like around here?
Okay, so going off the top of the dome, Toto Portorosa is the first number 1 that comes to mind. I love those boys. That's also a bias thing. I know every member of that band, and it's just a matter of like crazy good music. They are doing some crazy metal. Silver Tongue was one of the funnest episodes that I got to edit and cut and do all that shit. Also, that interview, while the audio is not the greatest, it was one of the funnest interviews to do. That's why we are all getting microphones now. Because I'm not joking. Because you hear like, like
was
all.
that the first one you had done, or?
Oh no. The first one I did was way back in January, and was I fucked with a couple of acoustic acts and a couple smaller scales, but the metal stuff came way after. Like I knew I could do metal because mixing metal was what I was trying to get good with, period. But like I wanted to start way easier. But so where is everybody originally from?
Originally me and you.
Where do you claim?
Texas?
Like, now a little more specific. Texas is bigger than the UK. So.
Yeah. Denton.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been a Dentonite.
I'm an Air Force rat, but I've lived in Denton the longest I've ever lived anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Yeah, same with me. I grew up in the hill country, but I moved to Denton in '89, and I claimed Denton.
As you what about you?
I'd say Kentucky. I grew up in Louisville for 17 years. and then lived in Indiana for 2, and I hate Indiana. But now I'm back. I was born in Houston, and now I'm back in Texas. So I like to consider myself a Texas boy.
At least we all agree Denton's the best that we found. So
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's a black hole for musicians.
Oh yes. All right. So, what would you say your favorite local venue is? It doesn't have to be Denton. It could be DFW. But a drivable venue. Now, I know some of y'all have drove very far for venues. So, but
within about an hour's drive. With
A
the
day's
metro-
drive.
With the metro. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I would say to play at Andy's.
yes.
The gear room situation's a little sketchy.
Levin's
but
best show was at Andy's.
yeah, Andy's or anything with an elevated stage. Honestly.
So no house.
Well, houses are fun, but my shit gets fucked up every time. So.
Yeah. House shows are the craziest shows you ever play, but
Yeah.
also oh, well, where do I plug in? Well, I have these 2 outlets.
I don't have that problem. But
Just wait till you get a sampler, fucking drummer.
You know, I can't really think of one off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of ones that are not only fun to play at, but also that you have the best memories
Well, it
with.
doesn't
Sunshine
have-
Bar was fun.
All right, so if
Sunshine
you
Bar
can't
was
think of
fun,
it
but-
as a musician, think of it as what's your favorite venue. Period.
Right. I mean, I would probably have to go with. Oh crap! I had it and lost it. I guess Reno's.
Reno's is fun.
Reno's. I like the stage on that one. It seemed to be pretty good. But J&J's too. J&J's basement, I think, is
That
also
too,
for
yeah, that's
for
a good one.
Reno's in terms of the stage presence, but
J&J's.
J&J's in terms of just the memories I had there. I had a lot of really fun shows there.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to say, I dig Andy's.
Andy's is good.
Rubber gloves can be a little pretentious sometimes.
Mm.
I don't know with the new owners though.
Yeah, I haven't seen
The
it.
new owners have done a really good job.
It was fun when we
if you're
played
talking
there.
from the before all the remodel and everything. I have no experience with that, but the new, I've had very good experiences there. But if I've heard Andy's from multiple people,
Yeah.
Andy's has been our best show of crowd plus venue. They treated us well, they paid us well. The crowd was crazy. There was a fuck ton of people. Andy's is a good spot. But I will say, I've seen as a concert goer, I've seen Rubber Gloves pull a crazy show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I've never got to perform whenever it's those kind of crazy shows. So that's why I do agree. Andy's is where I play.
But then there was a I Hate God show at Andy's, which is fucking insane. Now that's the craziest shit I've seen there so far.
Oh yeah. Well, didn't get
Agreed.
some good acts. It's just it's few and far between.
Very
but
sparse.
it pops up.
And they're kind of like the, not going to say fringe, but I don't know, actually, you kind of wouldn't expect them to play in Denton, but also you kind of would expect them to kind of play in Denton,
Well,
Not surprised.
Denton's a perfect
Yeah,
place. If
right.
you're gonna play in Dallas, it's well, if I play in Dallas on Friday, a small show that's packed to the fucking brim is perfect for Denton. It's all right, I'm gonna be here for the fucking few days anyways, so why not just play here?
Yeah.
And you'll get a great crowd. There's I Am Man, I Am Monsters played here. They've got a bunch of different
Full of hell.
Coolio.
I fired in Rubber Gloves once, and that was a great show.
that's right.
Alright, so favorite alcohol.
Beer.
Specifics.
Favorite beer.
Lone
Wanna get
Star.
fancy?
Lone Star, best damn beer in Texas.
Yeah, I like Lone Star. But if you want to get fancy, I like St. Pauli Girl. That's good. Bass.
St. Pauli girls on non-alcoholic.
No, they have a non-alcoholic, but no, the
Oh.
real stuff is Bass also has a non-alcoholic.
Hey, drink what you want, dude.
Yeah.
Mine would be Maker's Mark.
Oh yes, Maker's Mark is so good.
Some bourbon.
Corona. Relevant, huh?
Hey, you're looking at it. The non-band member that fucking.
I'm a big Heineken drinker.
I figured you said that.
And
Already
malt
said
liquor.
Lone Star.
Sometimes
Malt
when I
liquor.
sweat a lot and I don't wear deodorant, it smells like Heineken.
That's why I love it.
So if you want to lick my pits, sometimes.
Maybe we can.
Don't know if you'll get drunk from it, but we
could
could probably
dis-
get some kind of
We
high.
could distill your sweat and make an even skunkier Heineken.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
Make millions.
Yeah.
Honestly, y'all have a perfect brand name. Mouth of Cronus. Alright, so what would you say is your favorite local band?
Denton or DFW?
Yes. You can say, if you want to say Denton and DFW, because I understand that, like, we have this, like, you can have a favorite Denton band and you can have a favorite DFW band, but also if you have one that ranks above, go ahead.
I'd have to say House Harkonnen. I've always loved those guys, but they're kind of not a thing anymore. Sort of.
I mean, it happens.
Still thinking.
It's been a long time since I've even been to a show.
Yeah,
So-
I've been out of the scene for a few
Well, it
years.
doesn't have to be a current one. Just has to be a band you saw locally.
A band I was
Dale
really-
Watson.
Dale Watson.
Fair enough.
That's the last pretty good show I saw at Dan's. By the way, Dan's Silverleaf is a very good venue.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Totally.
We all forgot about
We live in
Dan.
Denton, we totally
Well,
forgot
the
about
reason
that.
that we all forgot about Dan's is because, yes, they'll let fucking metal bands play.
Yeah.
But when was the last time any of us played at Dan's? Because they are very selective. Yes, I know y'all have played there.
Over here.
That stage is so sick.
Also, all their artwork is soundproofing from an engineer standpoint. What the fuck? That's a genius idea!
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, the room sounds good.
Yeah, no, Dan, sure. Oh, they are such a good sounding venue. Alright, come on. Anyone else? Come on, local band.
Okay, I want to make sure that I have the name right, but I'm pretty sure they were a really technical band. Cognizant? Did
I have heard of that band.
Yes,
I'm
they.
pretty sure I've seen them now.
Yeah, no, I mean when we were all in combat, I played with them multiple times, and I was very, very impressed by them. Their drummer was a fucking beast, and I remember you being very impressed.
Yeah, Brian's awesome.
Yeah, Brian. He was
Can't
very, very
remember where
skilled.
that I know the name from, but yes, I do know that name. So what other bands have y'all been in?
Just said it now. I used to play in combat. They were in combat before.
Part of the reason AJ's here.
Yeah, and then
Also, he's a humble. Or
uh,
homegirl, I don't know his adjectives. Wait, that's the right phrase, right? Not
pronouns.
Definitely a dude.
wait, I'm gonna go with adjectives.
Definitely a dude.
Clay and I were in Enormicon for a long time. I've played in, well, I guess here in town the most recent would be Enormicon and the Killhawks, which is kind of a Texas rock and roll group. You know.
When did they form? Like, when did it normally
Oh, it's been a while ago.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
do you have a vague idea of what year?
Yeah, when did we start
Something blur, I
Enormicon? That was
understand.
like,
Jesus Christ.
Hey, don't use my name in vain.
7-ish?
yeah, 07?
Sounds
Yeah,
about right.
something like that.
Yeah.
That would have been
We
like
were playing about 6.5 years.
the first iteration of this band.
Yeah, we're kind of
Enormicon was
kind
like
of
the
carrying me and
prototype.
Clay kind of carrying the
Yeah, some
same
of the
style
dudes
of
from-
music.
That never got into Normicon we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So, what would you say your favorite instrument brand is?
I don't know. I'm not much of a gear guy.
I mean, really, this is the point that you get to shout out whatever fucking you want. So if you're talking about
Oh, well, I love
your
my
custom
Sonata.
guitar that you have, like this is where you shout out the person who made your fucking custom guitar.
My favorite brand is the guitar I had made for me because there's none of
Who
them
made
like
it?
it.
Well, who made
And
it?
it's the best. There's a guy named Tommy Miller here in Denton. He can make you a guitar too.
Miller Guitar Works. Right.
Ah, there we go with the fucking plug.
There you go.
Yes, it is.
You get a free guitar now.
That's a very beautiful guitar.
That would be neat.
You made a few years. All right, come on, somebody else. What's your favorite brand to play on?
Well, I'm
Sorry,
playing a
wait,
I'm
hold
playing
on. What's your
modular
favorite brand of
space.
stop pedals?
See, I'm not much of a pedal nut. That would be this man.
All right, guitars. What's your favorite brand of heads?
Soldano. They're the best ever.
Hard to argue that.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
what
what
we
I'm
say?
speakers. My fucking cab, so I can't complain. PV school.
Yeah.
I also running a PVGSX with Soldados.
One of the best heads I've ever run was a PV Windsor, and I ran it with bass, but it honestly almost sounded like fucking Motorhead.
It was like running it sounded like a Plexi almost. It was real weird because it's like such a cheap head, but it sounded sick.
Fucking had to sell it for rent, but man, I find another one easily. They're only $350.
Alright,
But
anybody else?
man,
What's your favorite brands of shit? Drummer, what? You gotta buy snares. What you gonna get?
say
What's your favorite snare head?
Your current snare.
I don't really go by brand, more than material.
That's fine. Come on, I didn't say brand.
I want something bronze. I want a bronze cast snare.
What kind of head?
Remo forever. Until recently, I went back to trying Evans. And
See, whenever I was playing the drum kit, I had like Kevlar heads on my snare.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
It's because I started with my snare work on marching band. It was like there's nothing better than that Kevlar head snare,
Yeah,
marching
it's
snare.
loud.
Pop! And I'm just that's the snare sound.
It's definitely loud.
All right, so what was the first song that we heard? What was the first? What was song one?
Descent of the Poison King.
Any notes about that song, or when did that song come out? What? Where did it like? We're about to go to break, and so is there anything y'all feel like that would help elaborate about that song?
Like, what's it about?
Yeah, Descent of the Poison.
Any notes about it?
It's kind of a long-winded explanation.
Man, I'm assuming it's not about happy flowers.
I guess there's an author named Robert Bly who talks about you can have the creative king or the poison king, and that the kind of spirit of each of those can sort of descend down upon a nation or a group of people, and it dictates whether that group of people is creative and collaborative and productive, as opposed to the poison king, who sows chaos and resentment and just all the negative shit you can think of. And so, in my opinion, in this country right now, the poison king is kind of descending upon us, and
Some discord.
No politics.
Throughout the world.
well,
It's just a worldview. Yeah.
No, that's a very, very good description, especially after hearing the song. All right, so what was song 2?
that was Thunder Mountain.
Thunder Mountain. What would you say was the inspiration for Thunder Mountain?
Well, that's Joey's tune.
Joey, talk to us, Mr. Shy Guy.
Well, he wrote the lyrics for it, and he also
See, he's already being
rearranged
self-condescending.
No, he rearranged it, and it used to be a completely different song that we played with Enormicon, but he rearranged it for the better. It was a good song before, but it's better now. I don't know. We just kind of that band, we'd made up an entire new world and all this kind of stuff. It was pretty funny, but I don't know. I just kind of came up with some riffs that I thought were pretty cool and came together well. And that's about it. And then he, of course, wrote the lyrics.
What is y'all's favorite tuning? Personally,
We're all in C# standard.
I didn't ask what y'all are in. I asked what y'all's favorite tuning.
C# standard.
But if I'm playing guitar, I like open D.
Right.
Yeah.
I play slide, and it's fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
slide is wonderful.
I feel like any lower than C# chords start to sound like garbage.
Yeah.
If you're playing anything other than root.
We play in
We're
C
getting
standard, but I get what you're saying. If you're gonna play any lower than B, then just get a 7 string and just have your full guitar with a sec. And also, that's my own personal opinion. Fight me, but
For a standard tuning, D standard is honestly the best. Some of my favorite bands are in D standard.
You get the same riffage, but so much shut.
Right.
Take your favorite song,
Right.
play it in
And
D
then
standard,
and then
see
at
how
drop
better it
tuning
sounds.
again, you can't go wrong with drop D. You never can go wrong.
All right, so we're gonna take
Tool's
a
my
break,
favorite band.
and then when we will get back, we will talk about a few more things, and then y'all can get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
from the sea is made in purity. Oh no! Oh no! And earth and man in the view is direct myself for now. Oh no! Into my dawn, you slip down and slide. You break me from the inside. Yes, it clamors and crawls. God, you got it from the other side. Welcome to the fold. Twisted shades and broken spirits and soul. The soul. The soul. And you your name on your knees with your sacred truth to serve. To stop me. Into my dawn, you slip down and slide. You break me from the inside. Yes, it clamors and crawls. God, you come from the other side. What's wrong? Acid tide, never neutralize. Beneath the shadow pride, you will prevail and see the light.
Alright, welcome back to Audio Carnage Podcast. So, song 1 was,
Descent of the Poison King,
and song 2, which was the one we just heard?
Thunder Mountain.
otherwise known as Thunder Honky.
Yes.
Thunder Mountain, Thunder Honky. Hey, that's racist.
No, it's not, because I'm white. It's about white people.
Fair. Alright, so, what would you say is your current favorite show or movie or book or audio podcast to listen to? What's your favorite media to enjoy currently? You have time off where you're sitting at the house, where you have nothing to do. You got a movie that you're interested in. I see a
Grant turned me on to Last Podcast on the Left.
Oh yes, very good podcast.
It's
Very good podcast.
Crazy fucking shit.
Yeah, no.
We're
Well,
in
they
podcast
hit
form.
all the like good creepypastas.
Yeah,
Oh
they do.
yeah, all of it. Just and then Henry what's his name?
Yeah, you got it.
Henry Zabrowski.
Zabrowski carries that show. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Anybody
we can
else
do
got any
character
ideas too?
Ever.
I'm rewatching King of the Hill.
Ah,
We were just talking about Devs. That show on Hulu has Nick Offerman in it.
oh yeah.
Real crazy if you like science fiction and shows that'll make you like sit up at night thinking about stuff you shouldn't think about. It's a definite one to watch.
I actually haven't watched it, so the way you described it makes me want to watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
Joey, got anything?
Well, I've been just kind of watching stuff on Netflix, and I kind of got sucked into Narcos.
Oh,
Yeah.
such a good show.
Yeah, I finished the Colombian one, and I started on the Mexican one. And
Oh, it's so good.
yeah, it's been pretty good. But
I'm real into podcasts while I'm listening to them at work, but my favorite podcast to ever listen to is Brothers of the Serpent. They are two brothers that live in Texas. They live like in the West Texas area, and they just delve into ancient history, ancient cultures, ancient people, all that kind of stuff, and just delve crazy stuff out of it and talk about everything like that. So
Grant, what you got?
he's a king.
Yeah, King of the Hill.
Okay. All right.
Dang,
No, I forgot that you actually answered that. But all those, like that's the nice part about podcasts and also shows. Like they're getting to the point where they are so many hours long and so much depth to them that you're able to just spend so much time of your life just watching. Like, did we need to watch Tiger King? Fuck no.
No, but
no.
it was there when
But
we did it most.
That is very true.
That's true.
It was that show would have made no relevance if it hadn't been like, oh no, I need something way more eccentric
Yeah,
than
we're
what
all
I'm
like, what is going on? This man has no idea what's going on, but I'm going to listen to him.
All right, so what other jobs? List me 3 that you've had other than being a musician. Like, what other jobs have you done to make ends meet, as it were?
I collected trash in Kerr Hall. Long time ago.
Like waste management, like. Or are you talking about like?
Clay and I worked at a landfill.
Hold on. Question. Here's the reason I specify. Are you talking about waste management, or are you talking about Adele collection?
Wait, what?
You said you collected trash, right?
Oh god, dude. No, it was actual trash. And
Adele's trash.
It was fucking weird because they on every floor they had this chute, and you would dump your trash down in it, and then it all from like all 7 floors, it just dropped from this avalanche into this big giant trash bucket on the bottom floor. And of course, the stuff that fell out of the bucket, I had to put back in the bucket. It's every imaginable piece of garbage and food and God knows what the fuck
From a college
ended up
dorm.
down there. And so that was my job.
It's the craziest thing you saw.
Clay and I worked for Triangle Temporaries for a while, and he and I both, this was many, many, many years ago, worked at a landfill in Louisville, and it was all like construction garbage. And remember that time we had to tear down that barbed wire fence?
That was fun.
It was fun until we both got we both got sunsick.
No.
Heat stroke.
But until then, we got to tie chains to fence posts
To a
onto
Kubota
a
tractor.
little tiny tractor and yank them out.
And
have
it could have
metal and shit
beheaded
flying
us.
at us.
Yes, it
So
could have
that was
beheaded us.
fun.
We had to tear down about a third of a mile of barbed wire fence, and we thought, let's just go ahead and tie it to the tractor and
Yeah.
speed things
Yeah,
up.
it's just like, just pull it this way and
It
then right-
sounded like a great idea
That didn't work.
until we started moving, and it was going beep, 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 beep,
Uh-huh.
and then it went back.
You have to have like a football.
And then at the end of the day, the guy was like, "Hey, you guys are pretty good. You want to, come on and work here?" And we're like, no. And then we went back and we went and snuck into some apartment swimming pool to cool off because it was like in August and it was an incredibly hot summer. And so we got so hot, and he was burnt like a fucking lobster. He was red as anything.
Very white.
We both got sunsick, puking and shit. It was terrible.
But memories.
Hashtag memories. AJ, what about you? What's your worst job?
AJ.
Yeah, worst job.
Oh, shit.
I
keep fucking that up.
wasn't the worst job, but that was a bad job.
Top
Yeah.
3, not all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some pretty funny work stories. I worked at Metal Mushroom for 40 hours, and then
Good beat you.
and I worked there.
So
And I walked in, the guy literally.
Wait, total?
Yeah. I walked in, the guy said, "All right, start making pizzas, no training." And I was just like, "All right." And then,
I mean
the
sauce, cheese, toppings,
and then
got you.
and then the tickets would come in, and I was like, "Man, I don't even know the Metal Mushroom menu." So yeah, I kind of just bullshitted around the kitchen, and then they didn't give me the right schedule. So then I unintentionally no-showed for a week, so they fired me. And then I worked at Buc-ee's for 8 hours, and I got all the way through training, and then I went and I was in like the little brisket circle. He made everything, and I wore a denim apron and a cowboy hat, which was the best part of my job. But like, it was the same thing. They just didn't train me. They're like, "All right, start making sandwiches," and I'm like, "All right, what's the recipe?" And they're like, "We don't have any recipe sheets." And I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be a bad day." So I went over to my manager's office and turned in my denim apron and cowboy hat and walked out. And then the worst was
Honestly, how bad did you think? I'm just gonna turn in this apron.
I almost took the hat. Yeah, I really wanted to. But and then I worked at Rat Shit Kroger for a while, and I mean, I only call it that.
You worked there for a short amount of time. I was there for 4 years. I was a milkman.
The Cronus.
So you worked at the Crodent. I was the other one.
All right. AJ, what you got?
You did it again.
Guys, I'm an asshole. Also, I haven't eaten all day.
My name is Mud.
Grant.
Not to be confused with AJ.
Hold on, let me rephrase that. Jimmy, what was your worst job? That's a joke. If you know, you know. He doesn't even know. Krishna, you
being a
know.
busboy kind of sucks. I think me and you both did that for a little while.
Yeah, at Loco.
Yeah, that sucks. You get biscuit and gravy fingers.
Remember the day I had the ear piercing? I got that one cartilage piercing, and I got snagged on the bus cart and like ripped it halfway out. My ear started bleeding. That was a fun day.
I haven't had too many shitty jobs though. So
All right, be honest. Did you guys ever eat anybody's leftovers?
yes.
No.
Hold on, we talking poppers or cheese sticks?
No.
Just whatever, like a hunk of toast or
It was
a
breakfast
maybe a
food, so by
steak.
the
corn
time...
dog, a piece of a corn dog left on a plate, something like that.
Somebody would take like a bite out of it and then send it back, and then if you just eat around it.
See, that's
Yeah.
different though, because you're in the kitchen, so you could eat it. I was,
Throw it back on the grill.
if I'm taking it back to like the bus station and it's like pancakes that have been sitting out for an hour that are just like goop, like no.
Yeah.
So I've eaten stuff that has never went out. Like it's like, oh, that shit's been online for a while.
Yeah.
Like, nope, that's going.
You have
Yeah,
no balls.
I don't mind. I don't know where it happened. Remake it.
Yep.
Yeah. I one time saw Grant eat an entire onion for $5 at that job.
Yeah.
See, these are the
Like an
stories,
apple? Or,
folks.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like a
cut
whole
up or
apple.
a whole.
Like just like
Like
took a bite
bit
out of
like
it.
an apple.
Nice.
I had to go home.
Cause didn't you touch your dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I
hold
went
on.
to take a piss.
Hold on. How bold are you on this podcast? Because I have fucking ghost peppers out there. You want to touch your dick after that?
No, I've
like seriously, just stand right there with both cameras on you.
I've danced with that
Hey,
devil.
here's Grant
before.
Oliver. Oldemir. Old
You're on a fucking roll, bud.
Here's Grant. Here's Grant, old dude. Wife's fucking hand on ghost pepper, hand on dick.
There we go.
Hey, it's my podcast. I can fuck up your names if I want to.
It's fine with me.
That's the song, right?
Speaking of eating a whole onion, my dad, he was
Segways,
like a
bro.
total Oklahoma dirt farmer kid. And so they would be out plowing fields all day, literally, like him behind a mule. And his dad would go to the store and buy a whole onion, some bologna, and some white bread.
Hold on, that sounds better than white bread and bologna. Like an onion and white bread and bologna. I'm just saying, I already believe in your story.
The onion on top.
Well, yeah, and he was just like, you're so fucking hungry that this.
Just because
like,
bologna's shit.
That's the most wonderful food you've ever had. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like fucking white bread and bologna and the whole
Farm dirt's
onion.
hard work.
When I was little, I was like probably 4 or 5 years old. My sister, who's 11 years older than I am, took me over to her friend's house, Mary Lucelli. And her father, Mary Lucelli's father, was like this massively obese guy. And there weren't like obese guys when I was a kid that age. People were not as fat as they are now.
It's America, different age.
So they left me and with him to babysit me for a while my sister Mary and her friend Mary went off to go do something, and I was starving. And Mary Lucelli's father made me mayonnaise sandwiches.
See, I've had mayo and tomato.
It was 2 pieces of bread with
He's still
mayonnaise.
mad about it.
Yeah,
It was like the Blues Brothers, where you ever had a wish sandwich? It's when you got 2 pieces of bread and you wish you had some meat. How. But it was mayonnaise, and I fucking hate mayonnaise. Yeah, that was a bad meal, but I was hungry and I ate it.
Okay, as fat as he was, he didn't have anything decent.
Maybe
to put
he
in
just
between
didn't want to
pieces of
share.
bread.
I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. He didn't want to share his real food. So here you go. Here's some pieces over here, some Wonder Bread and fucking mayonnaise. It was awful.
Just have to pretend it tastes good.
I was
not
just little,
ignoring
and I didn't know what to do. I said, okay, I'll eat a mayonnaise.
Let's not ignore
Can you cut the crust off it?
Adult to fucking
I don't know.
little kid.
I think I tore the crust off myself.
It's like whenever we stayed the night at Alex's house, and he made all 4 of us split a piece of bread and a half-drunk glass of milk.
Oh, he took a bite out of it before he gave it to us. Here's your rations.
Dad was a coke fiend and fucking would
See,
eat
that's
the whole
fucking
pantry.
people. That's good. All right, so wait more.
One time I had a roasted chicken that got attacked by cats.
Hold on.
Why was that?
Was it a chicken that was roasted after being
Feral
attacked by
cats.
Yeah, you got
or
it from
was it a
Cronus.
roasted chicken that was attacked by cats?
No, I was here in Denton, and when I'd go home to visit my parents, my mother, God bless her, would always say, "Go ahead and raid the freezer." And so I'd come back with food. I was
I get that.
dirt poor bass player working telemarketing or whatever it was, and I came back with these 2 chickens, and my girlfriend at the time, we roasted them both, and I was going to take them back to my house. And on the way home, we ate half of one, and then on the way home, I stopped by my friends Tom and Rob's over there, and they lived on Fannin Street, and
Fannin.
and I left my window down a little bit for those chickens in my car, and we had some beer and stuff, and then it's time to go, and I went out there and I opened up my car, and this fucking tomcat looks at me and took off, and I was like, what the fuck? And I look, and there's this chicken that's been, and the thing is, he didn't eat like just a part of it where I could cut off that end of it. He like made his way around the whole thing, so the entire thing was ruined. I was so mad. I was gonna go on a rampage and try to kill every feral cat in Denton. Because he took food out of my mouth,
Eating all my chicken.
Motherfucker,
I was backpacking
That's
one
pretty.
time.
I just imagine the cat just like.
Oh, he looked at me and he was all scroungy and like torn up ears and shit, and just took off. I was like, "You mother!"
All right, so what?
I think I threw rocks at the bushes, just hoping he was in there.
Go, dude.
If I had a 22, I would have killed everything in sight.
All right. So what album did you listen on repeat as a youngster? Doesn't matter what your definition of youngster is.
Youngster.
Yeah,
Go.
it sounded old there. Hey now,
His
you're
is
a
gonna be
rock
something
star.
brutal.
No, it's not really brutal.
AJ's influences consists of Smash Mouth and all their consecutive breakup groups.
No,
Probably Mothership.
Also, Chad Kruger's solo project.
That and Golf by Devo. Because my parents love Devo.
Like that, You Can Be My Hero soundtrack. You can be my hero.
Bette Midler, Wind
All right,
Beneath My Wings.
real question though. What album? Whenever you like got to the point that you like were able to put something on repeat, what was the first thing you put on repeat over and over and over?
I'm gonna have to say Rick James Street Songs.
Hell yeah.
Can't touch
When
this.
I really Yeah. But now I didn't have repeat at the time. You had to rewind the cassette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or put the tone on back.
So you got to hear it, you go.
Yeah. Mine was probably Physical Graffiti or 2112. The first two albums I ever bought. So.
Colton. Jimmy.
See, my dad, he
It's funny because it's Jimmy Grant.
my father he worked on
that's
cars,
Krishna.
so he would always be getting CDs and stuff from the cars that he'd be working on, and he would just burn them on like multi-cassettes, and so that's what I would listen to on repeat. I just put it in my DVD player and just listen to it in my room, and it had shit ranging from fucking Weird Al Yankovic to Chevelle to Tool to Metallica to fucking everything you could imagine. But so I would listen to that on repeat, and that got me into metal. And so I think the first legitimate album would have been Tool's Lateralis, because after getting all those like things, the one that I singled out of it was Schism by Tool, and that made me want to get bass in high school, and from there on, that's metal for me. So
Grant, what about you? Excuse me, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Well,
Number 2.
The joke of that is my buddy Krishna showed me. Apparently, Indians have this racist fucking comedy sketch. It's Indians racist against fucking Australians, and they call Australians who moved to India Jimmy Grants. So I always call him Jimmy.
That's like Flight of the Conchords when they have that racist. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever watched Flight of the Conchords?
Oh yes.
It's pretty fucking funny.
But
Racist one.
I heard the term Jimmy Grant, and that stuck in my head, and I can it was like, oh my god, I'm never calling him Grant again.
There you go.
all right, Jimmy Grant. So what would be your album?
It's gotta be right.
Christian, you better love
No,
that.
probably Appetite for Destruction on tape. And then, what was the other one? Boston. There's one more.
Van Halen.
Yeah, that was a little later. What was the other one? Back in Black. Yeah. Yeah, Back in Black and Appetite for Destruction. Everybody else had iPods, and I had a shitty Casio tape player.
Dude, feel that.
Clip it to my belt.
You got an iPod eventually, though, remember? Because when
Badass.
I met you, let me borrow it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, what's AC/DC?
Yeah, man.
That's right, you gotta listen to me.
So, anybody have any more additional of that before we move on?
I wore out. I wore out 2 CDs of We Want Miles. Great album. Live Miles Davis with Marcus Miller and Al Foster. Was it Al Foster drumming?
That whole genre, like that whole era, was Miles
Yeah.
Davis killed that shit. Anybody else?
The first band I'd say that was metal that I bought a CD that like really wanted me, like when I heard it I was like, oh shit, this is really cool, was Leviathan by Mastodon.
Yeah.
And I remember buying that and I listened to it for a week and then I stopped listening to it because I was so young at the time that it scared me. But for some reason I was like,
Like, so good!
I was like,
wait,
I kept going back
no,
to it.
this is
Yeah.
bad. No, so good!
Yeah.
I get it. Somebody was religious.
Oh, just I never heard that harsh vocals and like that much gain before in my life. And I was like, you could be this heavy and like people like it? And I didn't get it. You know, just as like a 14-year-old kid or like a 13-year-old. It was like that album probably started like me as a metalhead. Because after that it was just more and more and more.
Yeah.
So, if you could open up for any band, personally, doesn't have to be for this band, what would it be? Just what would be the like? Oh my god, I fucking made it! If you played like right next to a fucking artist.
I guess High on Fire. I mean, Matt Pike's kind of one of my guitar heroes. So, and he kind of got me back into metal. So that would be good to honor, or I would be honored to.
Pay homage.
Yeah.
If I had 3 in just one.
No, you.
Oh,
I said that's fine.
okay. No, if I had 3 that I could pick from, is Tool. Obviously, it would be badass to open for them. Can't open for these other 2 though, because they're no longer a thing. But
Yeah, also
Death, the
Oh, God.
band Death, that it would be
Huh.
amazing
Fucking
to open for
the
them.
fucking basis for Lament configuration.
They are one of my favorite bands of all time. Chuck is an amazing guitar player. And Rush. Obviously, it would be great to have opened for Rush.
I want to open for Maiden. I couldn't.
Still do it. No,
Nobody
fuck.
opens for Maiden.
No, but
yeah,
that would.
I get
Hold
a,
on, no, I've seen openers for me.
Yeah, I get a couple bottles turning me to open
tour
for
with them,
Maiden.
or was that?
Huh?
Didn't Ghost play with them?
Probably.
Ghost. I don't like Ghost.
I love Ghost.
I don't like Ghost.
It took me a bit to get
I think
into
they're
it, but
dumb.
I do like it.
You're dumb.
Alright, hold on.
We have this all the
Controversial.
time with you.
What popular song do you hate?
Oh, that's
I don't even know
hard,
what's
'cause There's so
popular.
many.
I can go with a band.
The top or the
and
one that comes to mind the most?
As a metalhead, I can say this, and I will get ostracized, but I can completely write off an entire band.
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
I really just do not like Slayer. I really just cannot get into that. I mean, there are a few songs, there are a few riffs that can get me like going, but no. And it's like, I mean, it's Slayer, so everybody like has to like them, but I just do not.
I propose that the reason you do not like them is the ICP syndrome. The concept of it is not about the music; it's about the fucking fans. Yeah, there we go.
No, not even necessarily that.
It's just like your despite on them is
Well, because
not
I
about
love
the
Tool.
rest.
I love Tool, and look at all the Tool fans. I mean, they're literally tools. But
You're right.
It's not. It's
You
not
made
that.
the
It's
best
just
argument, like because Tool is Slayer. What like that?
exactly to the point, bro. No, it's just I just never could get into it.
That's funny.
I really, 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 really hate baby metal.
That's a good.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And seeing Rob Halford like buddy up with them is just making me like what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? I know that's a hot take. I love Judas Priest.
Here's
I
what
always
he's
loved that
doing.
dude, but
He's
like,
doing this. Is do you know?
oh, yeah,
how-
I get it.
Do you
I get it.
do you understand how much money they are making? It's like, hey, baby metal featuring.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright, so
is Baby Metal like the little Asian girl?
They're like 30 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're not babies.
Well, yeah, that's the
They gotta
joke.
make babies to take over.
All right, so what is the best gig you've ever played? Ever.
I hate
For
God show
interest.
probably.
Doesn't have to be for this band, just
Pretty
period.
Yeah, that was the best night of my life.
I hate God for combat.
Yeah.
Okay, what about?
I'd say opening for Overkill in Enormicon.
That's
Pretty cool.
one of my.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So before we, where was the venues of this?
Was it
show?
Trees?
Trees.
Trees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Andes.
And we were the very, very first band. And we had a good show. There were minimal fuck ups. And we went on super early, but people were coming.
There were a
up to
lot
us
of people there.
And they're saying, y'all did. Like, they expected it to suck, but they were like, y'all were pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of people come up and there. And the thing is, I mean, yeah, it was early, but there were a lot of people in there. So there were probably a couple of hundred people already. You know, and towards the end of the night, it was freaking packed. But yeah, it was a decent crowd, and we sounded good, and it was a good gig, and the whole night was good.
I felt like, all right, that was a good enough show to where, you know, we don't necessarily sound like a local band that's been
Yeah.
given a favor or whatever. We actually sound like, you know, legit. To
Yeah.
me anyway.
Yeah, that was a good gig. And then my other one, that was, I was going to mention two. That was one of them. The other one was in my old band from back in the 90s, Lapdog. We opened up for Charlie Sexton. And those guys were being a bunch of assholes. We played here in Denton at it was called Rick's Place, which
Rick's
now...
Silent Rick's is a tattoo shop.
Right on the corner of Fry and I can't even remember what it's called now. But either way, it was the one of the biggest venues in town. And as we were setting up, the drummer was being a real asshole to our drummer, and he wouldn't move his kit. So we had to set up in front of his kit, and there was poles going through the stage, and so we were kind of doing this kind of thing. And we said, all right, you guys want to play this way? Fuck off. And we kicked their fucking asses. And then when we were done, when we finished up, everybody left. And it wasn't like friendcore either. It wasn't like now where it's, friendcore where you play somewhere and it's a bunch of kids and, their buddies are playing and all of a sudden everybody's gone when they're done. And no, nobody was really impressed with them, and so they walked out. That was probably, those two were my favorite gigs.
So what musicians do y'all admire personally? What were the big influences for you growing up? Like, what was the musicians that got you to where you are today? Like the ones that you admired?
Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck.
I like
and a whole bunch of drummers.
There's a guitarist named Chris Whitley. I was thinking about him the other day, and I was listening to some of his older stuff, and then I was thinking, oh, that's where I got that thing, and oh, he did that, and then I do this thing, and so it's weird how influences kind of, they're in there, but you just don't know it until you revisit their music or you kind of analyze what you're playing, and I don't know, that's who I'm stealing from. Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to say for me, it would have been Steve DiGiorgio on bass. He's the guy that played with Death for their best albums, and for me, listening to him, it was always kind of that's the ideal
He's
bass.
on 3 of the albums I have set over there.
Yeah. He has the ideal bass playing and voice that I've always been that's what I want to do.
Complimentary.
Yeah.
The reason nobody knows the name is because he's all around so many albums.
Right, yeah, he's just all over the place.
He fits so perfectly everywhere.
Yeah. It's kind of like Lynn
because he's done more than Death shit.
Oh, yeah, no, he's done all over the
It's just one of those, you play well enough that it doesn't matter, with the amount of groups you have. It's just, you leave your thumbprint.
Yeah, that's Lee Sklar. He was reading off just the other day. He put on a video, and he was reading off 4 pages of TV shows and movies. Just those alone that he had worked on.
Yeah.
Bulk. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know you played bass on any of this stuff. I didn't know bass is on half this stuff.
What about you, Jimmy? That is what you call a callback.
Drummers are always showing us videos of drummers and shit.
Yeah, but it's option paralysis.
Also, you had time. You had thought process. You were thinking.
Are we talking in terms of playing?
Sure.
Or just someone you admire?
Alright, give me 3 of your own. Just 3. Just 3 top. Or it doesn't have to be top of all time. Just 3.
I like the drummers that do more than just play. So, you're writing lyrics like Neil Peart, or you're singing like Brian from Macedon, or you're a major part of the arrangements of things. I think that's really cool. So yeah, I'd say those 2, and then you're gonna throw Danny Carey in there, and Billy Cobham, and Terry Bozzio, and yeah.
Well, normally I would lead up with what shows do you have coming up, but
Here we are.
COVID 2020. That being said,
Can we do a bedroom here?
at least we were able to do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But So, what is your favorite gig story? Doesn't have to be with this band, but like, what is your favorite like moment that you had at a gig? It again? Doesn't have to be.
AJ, you gotta have something.
I can tell the sandwich story again.
That's not your favorite gig.
Hey, don't talk about me.
It's a favorite story.
Oh, favorite story.
No, I said that would be a favorite story.
I mean, that's really funny.
Yeah, it could be a good or a bad.
You want to hear about the sandwich?
Yeah, if nobody
Let's hear
else,
about the sandwich.
I was on tour with Creeping Death, and we stopped at a Motel 6 somewhere in Pennsylvania, I think, and I ate a vending machine pastrami sandwich that cost me about $2. And I woke up the next day with the worst food poisoning I've ever had in my entire life. I was not shitting solid at all. I was puking myself violently, and then basically kept getting worse for 10 days, and I'm such an idiot, and I just suffered in silence. I didn't say anything, and it all came to a helm in Seattle when we were playing, and I went to step on the pedal, and I literally shat straight down my leg when I stepped on the pedal. And we had one last song. We played the song. I immediately left. I took my pants off, took my underwear off, threw the underwear in the trash in the green room, put my pants back on, walked out to the van, and then realized I not only did I shit myself, but I had to puke again. And all the bands were out there, and so I just remember looking at them and being like, "Hey guys, I'm really sorry about this." And then just all on the sidewalk. And then after that, the funniest part was this lady called an Uber to go see the show, and her first step out of the Uber was directly into my vomit, in like these nice high heels, and I was like, oh.
So when you were puking in the parking lot, did you not have pants or underwear on?
Oh no, I put my pants back on. I used the underwear.
Were
to
you
clean
commando
up
at this
the
point?
excess and throw it. But yeah, then after that, the next day I went to a doctor, and they were basically just yelling at me so much. They were just, I went to one doctor, and this was the funny thing. She looked at me, and she points right here, she's like, "I think your appendix has burst." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And she was like, "Well, if you don't go to the
dead."
Yeah, so then I go to the ER, and I tell the guy, I point right here, I'm like, "Yeah," she said like my appendix might have burst, and he's just like, "Well, that's really weird." I'm like, "Why's that weird?" It's like, "Because your appendix is on the other side of your body." And so basically that doctor was an idiot, and so the guy did a bunch of tests on me. Basically I was so dehydrated, and I had like an advanced form of food poisoning that he said if I waited another week and like didn't eat anything, I would have died. So yeah, that was fun.
I really
Well, this has been Audio Carnage Podcast. Thank you for being with us. Alright, so how did y'all meet?
Well, like we said, me and Grant met through an ad, and it was Facebook, because you sent me a damn message on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I was probably just referencing the original.
We saw it on Craigslist. Okay.
And
That was
then,
years ago.
Because it was gone before when I messaged you.
oh, right. And then,
Let's be honest, Craigslist and Facebook are about as reliable as each other.
Yeah.
and then I don't know, somehow this fruitcake insinuated himself into
Well,
the whole situation. And
that's
now we get
because-
rid of him.
Hey. I can say for a fact.
Barnacle on the bottom of your boat.
Hold on. Colton is way more fucking beneficial than a fruitcake. Because fruitcakes are like this one dish that you give by buying at like some store. It's been made like 5 years ago.
Give it to your
Like
in-laws.
it's
I
like
mean,
this
it's fresh.
fucking cardboard fucking edible that they give as a shitty
These
bag.
are
get
fresh
the
fruitcake.
fruitcake.
Like
He's
no.
a 5-year-old.
We don't want
No.
to re-gift Colton.
I prefer not to be.
That's my point. He's way better than that. Like he's way better than some things they re-gifted.
No, actually, what he's good at is coming up with stuff off the cuff that I would, I just don't think like that, but he seems to just be right there in the practice room and come up with cool harmony parts or just whatever. And so, yeah.
Well, and you
He's an
kind
awesome
of
fruitcake.
have to do that in my position because I came into something, like I said, they were already going through it 5 months, 6 months long. And he had already had most of this stuff from Enormicon. So they had already been going at it for a long time with a lot of this stuff. I just kind of came in into 5 songs already written, and I was like,
okay, as a second guitar player, how do I fit into this while also adding my own voice to this? And so just practice after practice, you just kind of have to come up with stuff kind of off the cuff. How did this sound? Okay, it didn't really sound good, so let me try this instead. And got to where I kind of added my own voice into it, and then when we started to write stuff later, you can tell that there's a different kind of feel into it from the other songs.
Alright, so first and second song was?
Descent of the Poison King and Thunder Mountain.
Alright, the third song was?
Third song is Crown of Crows.
Crown of Crows. So we will be right back.
We'll see you back, braving through the racket, dancing in the drag. We will see your trust bleeding out before you, staring through the dust. You don't read the show, you pay with oil and speed for your name. Trying to drive you to the flame. The ray of Avon is played. The new South Baseland have come to call. It is the swarming of the law. We will see you back, braving through the racket, dancing in the drag. We will see your trust beating out before you, buried to the dust. No stable of victims, no time. Did it get what have you to a gold? Built from the shining city bomb. Your glory restored all before. The breaker of the howling and black it away. Crown of crows will eat your face.
So, what was the third song we heard?
Crown of Crows.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we get out of here, thank y'all for coming in. I really appreciate
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Alright, so is there anybody that y'all have like appreciation for, any bands that y'all want to reference, any local people that really helped inspire y'all to get to the point where y'all have been moving towards?
I'll go first because, I mean, I'm here with you. And if we hadn't played that show with you guys, we wouldn't be here. So
You're not allowed to reference me.
there you go. Aside from that,
Hashtag limit configuration.
Yeah.
But no.
I'd like to thank Clay for writing the songs. I'd like to thank Joe for writing the songs.
Yo.
I'd like to thank Colton for playing the songs. And I'd like to thank AJ for being a good man.
And I'd like to thank Jimmy for not pooping his pants.
There you go.
Yeah, there's still time.
Hashtag everybody.
Amen.
I'll shout out.
Hashtag list.
I'll shout out Kavari Maddox on in the music world. He would be Mr. Maddox, all just one word. He's a friend of mine from high school, but we worked on projects together. I helped him on I believe it was on the song, the most recent album, Il Cativo. He's on Spotify. It's like R&B. I believe that's kind of the style. I mean, he's all over the place. You have to check him out. He's a very good musician, very good singer, very good songwriter. So Mr. Maddox, Mr. Maddox, all one word. Anybody else?
Well, Grant ruined my thing. I was going to thank these guys for
You're welcome.
being in the band with me.
Yeah, me too.
I'd like to thank my wife.
Ain't got no wife.
I got a wife. Thank you, wife.
Yeah.
Alright, so.
I don't know.
Well,
Leash gone.
since Joey is a unthankful bastard.
I am incredibly thankful, and I want to thank you for having us here.
Yes.
For sure.
And
This
Ace,
is a very
wherever
good
he is.
time.
Oh,
we appreciate
what do I
it.
hear? More backpedaling.
The room
Covering
sounds
bases.
really good, by the way.
It's all the foam.
That's
Honestly,
fun.
hashtag Guitar Center. Don't put that in. So here's the final question of the night. This is a important question that you have to think deeply on, and this is the most important question during the podcast that I swear to God our viewers only care about. Fuck, marry, kill your band. Who you gonna fuck? Who you gonna marry? Who you gonna kill of your bandmates?
Let's go clockwise.
What,
You start.
who am I going to fuck? or
Out of the
kill?
band, out of
Yeah,
all
yeah.
three of us.
Yeah, out of
Who
your
would you
whole
fuck,
band.
marry, or
Fuck,
kill?
marry, kill.
That's fucked up.
Here we go. Here we go, boys.
Damn. I'm going first.
Joe's going first.
No.
You want me to go first?
I love these guys. I don't want to do any of that.
No, I'm not afraid to.
Well, hold on. First of all, if you love these guys, then two of the things should be.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, look. AJ is now in the band, and I would fucking kill him.
Hold on. So you're gonna kill AJ. So who you gonna fuck and who you gonna marry?
Both. All of them.
No.
Fuck him, he'd marry him.
All right. Hold on.
Marry him, kill him, and then.
Grant and Colton are involved. Y'all start.
Okay. All right.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Get marry Joe because he can cook.
True.
Good choice.
Yeah, that's actually hashtag Joe's cooking.
Yes.
Okay.
Hashtag Joe's slouchy's cooking. That's a different joke.
I'm gonna fuck Clay because he scares me.
Oh,
He's angry.
boy.
He's really angry.
You know that might help.
And then
So what does that mean,
Who you gonna
Grant?
kill?
that means I'm killing Colton because I can spread your legacy.
I mean, you could kill yourself.
Spread my legacy.
Yeah,
Is that
I can maintain
I
the.
can become a martyr.
Yeah, I'll put a
For the
little.
cause.
I'll put a little.
Colton.
What are they called? An altar of you in my closet.
Oh, okay.
Colton, fuck, marry, kill.
I'll put your base
Alright.
up there too.
Grant made a great point. I'm gonna have to marry Joe.
Ooh, Joe's on the
Because-
fuck winning side.
Yeah, because he's a damn good cook.
No,
I have had his meat and it is delicious.
It is.
So take what
Sounds like he's already fucked.
And even though he said that he would kill me, I'd still fuck the man. Make you feel like the only man in my life. And Clay, we can't have two egotistical
Only be one.
guitar players and wannabe singers.
That's fair.
So we will have to fight to the death. It's just the way of things.
All right, Mr.
I
Getting
Where
Married.
the fuck I get killed?
No, Joe gets to start next.
No,
Joe.
he said that.
Who you
Grant
gonna
said
fuck?
he
Who
fucked
you gonna
you.
marry?
Okay.
Who you gonna kill?
So you didn't fuck, but I'll kill you afterwards.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't like this question.
I don't care.
Joe's a good old
This is-
Southern boy
This
that.
is the cost of 4 music videos.
Listen, we both said that we marry you. So.
Well, I think. Well,
Hey,
okay.
you're on the winning side.
Can I convert to Mormonism and marry them all
Oh.
Can you fuck yourself?
and fuck myself?
But then you can
Well,
kill
I-
all of us and in a murder-suicide.
That's what's gonna happen. I'm converting to Mormonism. I'm marrying them all. I'm gonna fuck myself and I'm gonna kill us all. There's my answer.
I should have taken that way out.
That's right, we all will. So.
Acceptable.
I don't know. Good questions.
Alright, you get out.
Get out.
Your turn.
I already went.
Yeah, he was.
No.
Yeah, he was gonna. No, you.
Alright, AJ, who you gonna fuck, marry, kill out of them?
No, 4. Okay.
So one of us is gonna get left out.
And that really tells you something.
Yeah.
Probably marry Colton. 'Cause he has more money than me, so we don't have to worry about that.
I mean, he needs a trophy
I'm
wife.
gonna probably kill Clay because I feel like it'd be a good fight. It'd be like a real good fight.
See,
You know.
that's why I said fight to the death.
Also, I know you're gonna marry Grant because you have history.
And yeah, I'd probably just fuck myself. Neither of them. Sorry.
Not good enough for you.
Alright, so where can we find Mouth of Cronus?
No.
Other than all over each other.
Yeah, unfortunately, nowhere. They're. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
No
what you're
SoundCloud,
making
nothing?
will be our
Well,
first.
see, we do have a SoundCloud. The unfortunate thing about that is that's a place where we post stuff that we use
So
to
apparently
practice.
you find Mouth of Cronus here at Audio Carnage Podcast.
and SoundCloud. But we are.
They're too busy fucking.
We are. No, we are very deep in the middle of recording our first album. So that will be coming very, very soon.
2 songs and it's done.
Yeah, 2 songs in a sense. So we have
we did 4
no.
halves, so how? Wait, 2 songs, then it's done. Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're very close. We have no release date on anything like that yet. But hopefully before the end of the year would be nice.
What'll happen before then?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're very
Keep
close.
yourselves looking out for Mouth of Cronus in the metal scene. Also,
We
check
are on
out for
Facebook,
all these
too.
motherfuckers in all their individual projects. So, regardless, we have all been assholes. So, I'll catch y'all later. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
There's one thing he knows. He sees the place that his plans of him knows. The beckoning wetness, the hook the eye. The bar that knew them will breathe on him mind. Throw out your philosophy, embrace conspiracy. Run the books and snap the quill, the hammer break the axle. You will leave me down. I am the beast that I am. Obey the mother of the will. Eat, sleep, fucking care. He climbed the high tower to choke the bell. He down my angels and down them to hell.